Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video. This is the first layout where I'm really starting to move into the die cuts with the view paper pad. So for the first one, I decided to just go for it and go for this kind of desert scene 12 by 12. I really love the tone-on-tone orange with the pops of golds. And since we're documenting Franklin, who's orange, I thought it was perfect. So I have this one 4 by 4 here. This is at Bennett's fourth birthday party. I'm pretty sure it was dragon themed. So Franklin came dressed in theme with his little dragon wings, and he was a huge hit with all the kids. He did very good, and he was very patient with everyone wanting to touch him and pet him and stuff. So I decided for this one, since I'm pulling in all this orange, I would really try to use up a lot of the orange and blue scraps from Simple Stories. So I'm pulling in this orange map print, I'm pulling in this navy grid, and then I'm going to be pulling in a couple scraps from Die Cuts with a View that I have already partially cut up, one of which is this lighter tone-on-tone orange, and I'm just building some layers here. So I decided just to matte the photo in some white, and then I'm using a couple scraps of that navy grid to form a bigger matte around that. I have a partial matte with the orange matte print. So I'm just trying to alternate these oranges and blues so that they don't run together. I also have a part of a branding strip that's that same navy grid, but it's like a piece of the top of a tag. So I decided just to use it as a tag. And so that's getting shoved into my layers. And so now I just kind of have a couple little compact layers around this 4 by 4. For some reason, I'm still gutting. Not sure why. It's a habit at this point. I'm just going to gut everything apparently, but I'm going to get the layers I know that I like glued together so I don't have a bunch of moving pieces. I also have a little branding strip of that same navy grid I'm going to try to use up on this page as well. So, and then there's some tags. I forgot in my little update video, I do have 4, I think, cut apart tags that I forgot to show. So I'm trying to use those up as well. So I'm trying to get that one with the red diagonal stripe at the top used up on this page too. And since that has more of a reddish hue, I'm trying to pull in a couple of the die cuts and stickers with that same kind of reddish diagonal print. So since I have this photo and clusters kind of in the bottom right hand corner, I decided to do a little cluster in the upper left hand corner. I really want this background to shine, so I'm really not trying to cover up too much of it. I'm going to be incorporating that one cactus to the right into the kind of tag cluster that I have going on over there. And then this branding strip I'm deciding to tuck at the bottom. I'm going to end up doing a notebook edge punch on that, so there's just a little bit more interest. But this is kind of the base of what I decided to go with. I'm just trying to really not forget about the Simple Story stuff, because the whole point of Kill a Kit with Style this quarter is to get through the Simple Stories things. So I don't want to get super excited about the die cuts with the view paper and forget what I'm supposed to be finishing up. So there's a couple branding strips that not branding strips, but border strips from a cut apart from the die cuts with the view. I went ahead and cut apart all of those bits and pieces so I could use them. And some of them are the same reddish hue that pull in some of the lighter colors within my layers. So I'm just going to layer up a couple of them to have as a horizontal detail across the bottom of the page. So I'm getting those used up. And I'm glad I'm getting kind of the more difficult papers and die cuts with a view used up on this first page. I don't have any pictures to document that are desert related or anywhere where there is a desert, so I'm really hoping my Franklin photos can be documenting using those kind of aspects since he is a desert animal. And that actually ended up working really well because I didn't even think about that when I bought this paper pad. I was just like, well, I'm gonna have to figure out how to use all these cactuses. So pleasantly surprised by how it is becoming of use. But I'm gonna get that notebook edge punch done on that blue grid pattern. That's going to be my anchor piece that kind of connects my layers down to those border strips along the bottom. And I'm just trying to scooch everything over to figure out where I want it to lay. I'm really trying to focus on that cactus on the background that I kind of want to become part of this cluster. And then playing around with a couple of the die cuts that have that reddish diagonal stripe in it. I thought about using this border strip vertically and instantly didn't like it. It could have worked, but just wasn't what I was going for on this page. So I'm going to move it back to the bottom. And then once I kind of know it's definitely going down there, I will end up trimming it to the same size as that paper mat. So there's not really any overhang, just to keep it kind of all square, which I, for some reason, like on this page. I don't always like that look, but it's working for me on this layout. So this is kind of the paper layers for the photo area. There is a green hole reinforcer printed on that one tag. There's nothing else green on this page though, so I felt that was distracting. So I'm just covering up the green hole reinforcer that's printed on that tag with an actual hole reinforcer that's white. And there's not a lot of white on this page too, so I'm trying to sneak just little elements of white that ties back into the white in the photo and the white mat that I've already done. But I like how all that's looking, so I'm going to get it all stuck together and committing to these layers, and then I need to focus on my cluster in the upper left-hand corner just to kind of balance out the page. So I'm going to try to use all the same papers I used within the layering of the photo to create just a little cluster there at the top, and hopefully get a couple more elements from the Simple Stories kit used up. So that's the goal. I keep shifting around this one piece. I did write the date on that tag. This was in October. Bennett's birthday is September, but this was his birthday party, so that's the date that I wrote on there. And then I decided just to use some raw twine to thread these tags with. I just felt with the desert and with Franklin, I liked the look of the raw twine. So I went ahead and just threaded both of those tags with that. But I like how all that's looking. I don't know if I'm going to jump up to that upper cluster or not. I kind of laid out a couple things I thought about using, but I wanted to reconfigure what I had using more of the Simple Stories stuff. So I'm looking at the sticker sheet and the die cuts that I have. There is an orange like pull tab sticker that says Adventure Starts Here that has that orange and that blue in it. So I'm popping that up on some foam to add to the cluster above the photo with those tags. And I really like that pop of orange. I think it really plays well off of Franklin's colors. And then I really wanted to use this orange camera. I was having a lot of problems with it though, because the strap of that camera was just looking really awkward in where I was wanting to lay it. And there's badges on the camera strap that says like I Heart Travel and that kind of stuff with the airplane picture, and that just wasn't really on theme, but I really wanted to use the camera. So after fighting and ignoring it and trying to figure out how to use it, I eventually just cut the strap off of the orange camera and just used the camera as is. And here is Franklin, who decided to make a cameo in this picture, or in this video. So sorry if that was startling. I forgot that he wanted to be under the lights in this one. So I'm thinking about the camera, not quite sure how to use it, but there are a couple of that light orangey pink. There's a couple heart stickers in that color from the sticker sheet, so I'm backing those on some foam as well, and I'm going to get those hearts used up on this page too. I finally had to move him because he insisted on sitting right on top of my layout. I think he ran into the office to bother Marcus for a little while, so I just kept scrapping. But I'm pretty sure later in this video Marcus brings him back and sets him back on my my table, so he'll pop back into this video a little bit later. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what to incorporate in that cluster up there. I definitely want to use all the same papers as around the photo, but I'm just not sure how to do it, so I'm procrastinating by seeing what other elements I can use. I was really wanting to use some word stickers on this page because I have so many of them that I included in this kit. But I just didn't really feel like I needed it on this one, and I'd rather try to stick with using Simple Stories stuff anyways. So I got those 2 heart stickers on here. This is when I finally decided to just cut that strap off of this camera. And I fiddle with this a little bit until I like how it looks. Where I cut it now, I didn't really cut it close enough to the orange, so you could still see a couple of those navy strap pieces, and it's a little distracting. So I will cut that down a little farther so that you can't see that part of the neck strap for the camera. But this is what I decided to do. I already have that notebook edge punch on that navy plaid incorporated, so I'm using another scrap of that behind the orange camera, and then I cut another scrap of that orange map print. I did another notebook edge punch on that, and then I really wanted to get one of these layery journaling pieces from Simple Stories used up, so I decided to use this reddish brown luggage tag. That's the same reddish brown that's in the diagonal stripe that I've already started to incorporate, and I just decided to tuck it behind all of that as just another interesting layering piece. And then I really felt like that tone on tone lighter orange paper was missing up there, so I'm trying to balance that paper as well by doing just an extra little back layer with all those pieces. But I'm basically just shoving scraps of all the papers I've already used up there to create this little cluster, and then I will end up popping that camera up on some foam once I finally trim it down a little bit more. But I like how this is looking, so I'm going to go ahead and stick it together, and I'm going to tuck it up there. And I really like how the sun kind of peeks around this cluster on the background. So that just all makes me happy. I really like how this page looks. I had a lot of fun making this one. So now that I have the page laid out how I want it, I'm going to start sticking things down. So I'm going to go ahead and commit with these 2 hearts. There's Franklin again. I really was trying to get some extra die cuts from Simple Stories used up because I'm just really trying to use all of that collection before this quarter is up, but it just was kind of detracting from what I already had. I really liked how everything was looking, so I just trimmed that camera down a little bit more so you can't see any of that neck strap, but I was kind of missing that white border that was going around it, so I just decided to mat this camera again on some white and fussy cut it so it looks more factory made, I guess, more complete with the white background similar to the other elements I've already used. So I'm gonna get that down really quick and pop that up on some foam. Other than that though, I think I just add some gold Heidi Swap Color Shine just to add a little bit more of that gold into the background and incorporate that into the layers, and that's pretty much it. I do some journaling. I forgot about the journaling. I'm going to do some journaling in a navy pen running up the right side of my photos because I definitely want to document that this is Bennett's birthday party and that Franklin came dressed in his dragon wings and all that kind of stuff. So I will get to that. It just says, Bennett wanted a dragon theme for his 4th birthday party, and Franklin came dressed to impress. All the kids loved learning about him, which was really great. I wasn't sure if they would be excited about him or scared of him, because even though he's just the derpiest, sweetest little animal ever, he can look intimidating. He's a reptile, and he looks spiky and rough, and so I wasn't quite sure how some of the kids would react to him, but they actually were really excited, and they had a lot of good questions. They wanted to know what he ate and what he did and, where he's from. And so I thought that was really cool. But here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.